Hi, I'm Mayorij, and I am going to give you information, tips, general knowledge, and preparation about earthquakes. Here are some facts about earthquakes and seismic activities. Did you know earthquakes strike suddenly, violently, and without warning at any time of the year and at any time of the day or night? Smaller earthquakes often follow the main shock, caused by the breaking and shifting of rock beneath the Earth's surface. Ground shaking from earthquakes can collapse buildings and bridges, disrupt gas, electric, and phone service, and sometimes trigger landslides, avalanches, flash floods, fires, and huge destructive ocean waves, also known as tsunamis. Most earthquake related injuries result from collapsing walls, flying glass, and falling objects. Several thousand shocks of varying sizes occur annually in the United States, and 70 to 75 damaging earthquakes occur throughout the world each year. Anywhere in the world, every country is vulnerable to earthquakes except Antarctica, where earthquakes can have occurred in the past, they will happen again, most located in uninhabited areas. Earthquakes occur most frequently west of the Rocky Mountains. The largest earthquakes felt in the United States were along the New Madrid Fault in Missouri, where a 3-month long series of quakes from 1811 to 1812 included three quakes larger than a magnitude 8 on the Richter scale. And also, the Richter scale, developed by Charles F. Richter in the 1930s, is a logarithmic measurement of the amount of energy released by an earthquake. Earthquakes with a magnitude of at least 4.5 are strong enough to be recorded by sensitive seismographs all over the world. It is estimated that a major earthquake in a highly populated area of the United States could cause as much as 200 billion in losses. So, how do we prevent earthquakes? We don't. All we can do is to get prepared and be ready. Know what to do when it happens. Earthquakes are natural disasters that many people face every year. Unfortunately, people often fail to prepare themselves or their homes from earthquake damage. Being prepared will save you time and money in the event of an earthquake. Is earthquake are earthquakes important to us and why? Yes, it is very important and we need to know why. Why? Because it helps us understand the changes taking place in the Earth's crust. And it helps us correlate the amount of damage done to the strength of the quake. It can also tell us some other important things, such as if a volcano is becoming more or less active, it can tell us something about the size of a tsunami, which could have been produced by the earthquake underwater, etc. So there are many reasons to understand and measure the strength of the earthquakes. What are the preparations needed for the earthquake? An earthquake can be a very destructive natural disaster, particularly in the Pacific Rim region. After an earthquake, your home may be a mess and you might be left without a water supply or power. There are several things you can do to prepare for an earthquake before it happens. To minimize the damage and potential for injury in and around your home, create a disaster preparedness plan for your house or place of work. Know what you and your family are going to do before the earthquake happens. Form your plan together and go over it on a regular basis. The most important first step is understanding what to do the moment an earthquake hits. Identify the best places for cover in your building, under sturdy desks and tables. If there is no other cover, lay on the floor next to an interior wall and protect your head and neck. Stay away from large furniture, mirrors, external walls, and windows. kitchen, kitchen cabinets, and anything heavy that isn't bolted down. Teach everyone how to signal for help if trapped. Rescuers searching for collapsed buildings will be listening for sounds, so try knocking 3 times repeat, repeatedly, or blow an emergency whistle if you have access to one. Practice it until it is second nature. Practice this plan often. You only have a few seconds to make adjustments in a real earthquake. Practice drop, cover, and hold until it becomes a second nature. In a real earthquake, this is your number one defense. Drop to the floor, take cover under a sturdy desk or table, and hold on firmly. Be prepared for shaking and falling objects. You should practice this in every room of the house. Know a protected areas no matter where you are when an earthquake hits. If you're outside, move into the open, away from anything that could fall or collapse like telegraph poles and buildings. Drop and cover your head from falling objects. Stay there until the shaking stops. Learn basic first aid and CPR, or make sure that there's at least one person in the house who knows it. There are resources on your community to educate you and your family on how to deal with first aid emergencies. Your local Red Cross has monthly classes as well that will teach you the basic skills to deal with most common injuries and situations. If you cannot attend a class, purchase basic first aid books and put them with each stash of emergency supplies in the house. Having a first aid kit is highly recommended. Decide on a rallying point for your family for after the earthquake. It should be away from buildings. Go over what your family should do in the event that not everyone makes it to the rallying point. If you have civil defense safety meetings, as designated by your town, be sure that every member of the family knows the location of the one closest to home, school, and work. Learn how to turn off the utilities in your home, especially the gas line. A broken gas line leaks flammable gas into the environment, which can lead to a very dangerous explosion if untended. You should learn how to operate your utilities now so that in the event you smell leaking gas, you can quickly stop the problem. Write down and share emergency contact list. This should include everyone in your home, office, etc. You need to know who must be accounted for and how to get in touch with them if they can't be found. In addition to normal contact information, ask each person to provide an emergency contact as well. You should also include names and numbers of neighbors, name and number of the landlord, important medical information, emergency numbers for fire, medical, police, and insurance. Prepare a disaster supply kit and inform the entire household of its location. Earthquakes can trap people in their homes for days at a time. In the worst case scenario, so you need everything for survival in the house. If you have a large house or family, more than 4 to 5 people, consider making extra kits and leaving them in different sections of the house. Purchase enough emergency food and water for at least 3 days. You should have a gallon of water for each family member, plus a few more for emergencies. Make sure you have a manual can opener to get into timed emergency rations as well. You can purchase any non-perishable food you prefer, such as canned foods like fruits, vegetables, beans, and tuna, processed crackers and salty snacks, camping food. Buy a solar or manual crank flashlight and radio, or a normal flashlight with extra batteries. You should probably have one for each individual in the house. Get a portable battery-operated radio as well. There are some models that are solar or kinetically powered that may be worth an investment as you'll never have to worry about batteries. You should also purchase glow sticks, matches, and candles as backup options as it is a great moral booster and relieves stress. Create a first aid kit. This is one of the most important objects in your emergency kit and needs to be fully stocked with the following: bandages and gauze, antibiotics and ointments and alcohol wipes, pain relievers, broad spectrum antibiotic pills, anti-diarrhea medication, essential to fight dehydration in an emergency, scissors, gloves and dust masks, needle and thread, splinting material, compression wraps, up-to-date prescriptions, water purification tablets. And that's it for now, and I hope that all this information can help you when an earthquake occurs. This is also my poster, which I have made. It shows the factors that are affected by the earthquake. Here is the layers of the crust, the water, the houses, the vegetation, the mountains that can cause landslide, and the volcanoes, which we can predict if it's becoming more active or not. Thank you for watching my video.